Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today we're going to be breaking down Alex Sola versus Rhys McKee. This is another fight on the main card. Alright, and if you've been following the channel, we are still on the main card of UFC Paris Imavov versus Balhadio. So, for those of you who may not know Alex Sola, he's debuting today. This will be his UFC debut, and he is the current reigning Aries FC champion. Now, if you aren't familiar with them, they're probably the most prominent French promotion. At least I think they are, especially the talent that comes from there. Alex Sola being one of them. He was the reigning lightweight champion, and he won the belt in December of last year. Racked up 4 title defenses, and overall he is undefeated, 10-0-1. That one draw being his first title defense, ends as a majority draw. He takes on Rhys McKee, who is 14-6-1. And you might remember Rhys McKee. This is his second stint in the UFC. Actually, he was winless in the UFC up until his last fight against Daniel Frunza. But that leads into what the records look like. Like I said, Sola, undefeated. He's 4-0-1, that one being a draw. And then being his first title defense, and the other 3 title defenses were wins, 2 TKOs and 1 decision. Meanwhile, Rhys McKee is 3-2 in his last 5. After the first stint in the UFC, he got cut. He went on to Cage Warriors. I believe he won the title there as well. And then for a second stint in the UFC, he's 1-2, losing to Ange Lusa and Chidi Ejikwani. But as I mentioned before, just April, he got his first UFC win against Daniel Frunza. Overall, it's going to be interesting seeing how Alex Sola will do at welterweight, because he is a career lightweight. But I gotta be honest, looking at his skills in the real scenes, I really like how he fights. He's got some slick striking to him, and some really good head movement. But what I really like about him is not only his offensiveness, but his offensive grappling as well, or specifically his wrestling. Because watching some of the tape on him, it's obvious, yeah, he can get hurt. He's been dropped before, sure. But he fights through it pretty well. And some of his wrestling is it's really good. I'm trying to remember who it was, because it was one of his title fight wins. You can find it pretty easily. He hits this beautiful switch as his opponent scooped him up. Tried to do the Dagestan and thing where they sew the legs in between theirs to keep him trapped. And eventually he's able to just get a switch on him with pretty forceful leg. He seems like he's a really strong lightweight. I mean, you look at him come fight day, he doesn't even look like a lightweight. He does look like a welterweight. So I think his skills are going to translate pretty well to welterweight, I think. Just because, he already looked like a full-blown welterweight at lightweight. I just think he's going to be able to pack on muscle. I'm a little surprised he did this fight up in weight, but I'm assuming it's just because they wanted more French talent on the card, and there was no available lightweights at the time to face him, so he moved up the division. And now we have this France versus Ireland fight. As for Rhys McKee, like I said, he's undefeated. He was winless up into the UFC up until April, but you look at some of the fights, they were, he fought Hamzat Chimaev. What are you going to do? Now, granted, losing Ange Lusa, who I believe is cut from the UFC, not a good look, but I don't hold too much stock into losing to Chidi Ejikwani, because that's a really tough matchup. At his best, Rhys McKee is a long-rangey kickboxer. I mean, he's literally named Skeletor. He looks like one. And he hits with deceptive power. You watch the Frunza fight, he dropped him 4 times, busted his lip, busted his eye. It was pretty gnarly to watch. But yeah, he clearly does have some power in his hands, especially when he lands. And yeah, at the end of the day, he's still a rangy kickboxer. He still has some skills. It just doesn't seem like he's UFC level, at least at the moment. I know he just got a UFC win, but that was against a debuting guy off the Contender Series. And quite frankly, Daniel Frunza is a lot more hittable than Alex Sola. Yeah, I said Sola got dropped in one of his fights. Sure, actually, that was his latest fight, the one where he got the decision. Sure, but he fought out of it pretty well, and he still didn't look too badly battered. That's a tongue twister. Overall, I just like Sola's skills so much more than Rhys McKee's. I think his wrestling is better than Rhys McKee. I'm not saying he's gonna maul him like Hamzat, not what I'm saying, but I do think he's got a strong double leg. He's pretty good at getting wrapped around the opponent's waist, picking them up, or just under the rear and just lifting them up or dumping them. That's his probably best takedowns, and his striking is pretty good too. Like, I've watched some of his head movement; it's legit. Yeah, he can get caught sometimes, but he usually gets hit pretty badly once at most. You're not gonna land combinations on him super easily. He's very good. He keeps a good tight guard. He moves around side to side, ducks under punches. He's got good head movement, and all in all, I think he's gonna win this. I wouldn't say easily. I do see it being somewhat competitive because Rhys McKee, like, you look at the physical specs, right? 6'2", 78-inch reach. Alex Sola, 5'11", and Tabology doesn't have his reach. Go fucking figure. I guess for all these debuting guys, it's like you just got to watch the regional footage or go to Sure Dogs. They'll have it. But like, the betting odds reflect this. -140 for Sola, +110 for Rhys McKee. Overall, like I said, I'm actually kind of high. Watching the regional footage, I'm kind of high on Alex Sola. I'm not saying he's going to make a run for the title, and I would have to see how he does at the UFC level lightweight. But right now, this welterweight debut, I think he can go pretty well for him. I'm picking Rhys McKee. I'm picking Alex Sola to win a decision, and I trust Rhys McKee's durability. He's fought some pretty hard hitters. Chidi is by no means a light hitter. He has some good power, and he survived that. Anzlusa is a physical specimen. He went to decision, and so I'm expecting this to go decision. I'm not expecting a clean technical performance in this fight for Sola. I expect he's gonna have to fight somewhat tooth and nail because at the end of the day, Rhys McKee does have seemingly bricks for hands. He hits really hard. But overall, I think Sola is legit, and I think he can get this UFC debut win. I'm picking Alex Sola via decision. But that is all I have for that. Next up, we move to Balaji Oki versus Mason Jones. I'm really looking forward to that one. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. I'll see you next time.